another bombshell. Just as the global elite was packing their bags for the World Economic Forum in Davos, President Trump has flipped the table on the entire transatlantic alliance. In a move that many are calling as a Greenland Revenge, the White House has announced a massive 10% tariff on 8 key European nations. But this isn't just about trade. This is about the real estate. This is about the Arctic. And most of all, this is about the US demand to purchase world's largest island, no matter what the cost. Starting February 1st, 2026, some of the America's oldest allies will face a brutal economic wall. And if a deal isn't reached by June, that wall will jump to 25%. Today we are breaking down the shock move that has Europe reeling, NATO on the edge, and the world asking one question: is Greenland actually for sale? The announcement came as it often does via the Truth Social. From his golf club in West Palm Beach, President declared that 8 nations, which are namely Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, and the UK, and also the Netherlands and Finland, have put the safety of the planet at risk. Why? Because these nations recently sent troops to Greenland for military exercises. To Trump, this was a provocation. He called it a dangerous game and perilous situation. His response: a 10% import tax on all goods coming from those countries to the United States. This includes everything from German cars and French wines to British machinery and the Finnish tech. And here is the kicker: the tariff stays and they increase to 25% on June 1st until a deal is finalized for the quote, which quote starts, complete and total purchase of Greenland by the United States. Now, if you feel that you have heard this before, of course you have. Back in 2019, during his first term, Trump famously floated the idea of buying Greenland. At the time, the world laughed. Danish Prime Minister called it absurd. Fast forward to 2026, and nobody's laughing anymore. Why does he want it so badly? It is not just vanity project. These are 3 massive reasons. First, national security. Trump has often spoken about the Golden Dome missile defense system. Greenland is perfectly positioned between North America and Russia. Controlling it means controlling the Arctic air corridors. Second, natural resources. As the ice melt, Greenland is revealing a treasure trove. We are talking about massive deposits of rare earth mineral, the stuff we need for electric vehicles, smartphones, and advanced weaponry, even space travels. Right now, China dominates that market. If the US owns Greenland, they own the supply chain. Some estimates value these minerals at over $4.4 trillion. Third, the GI-UK gap. That stands for Greenland, Iceland, and the UK. It is a strategic naval bottleneck. If you can control this gap, you control whether the Russian Northern Fleet can ever enter the Atlantic. In Trump's view, Denmark, a nation of 6 million people, simply cannot defend an island this strategically vital in the 21st century and in the world where the great power will compete with each other. The timing for this is pure psychological warfare. The president is scheduled to land in Davos, Switzerland, this Tuesday for the World Economic Forum. Imagine the scene. He's going to walk into a room filled with very leaders he just slapped the tariffs. Emmanuel Macron, Keir Starmer, and Frederick Merz. They all will be there. By dropping this bombshell 72 hours before the summit, Trump has ensured that the entire Davos agenda will revolve around him and Greenland. He is not going there to negotiate. He is going there to present an ultimatum. The message is very clear. You can have free trade or you can have Greenland. You can't have both. Let's look at their targets. Germany and France are the engines for the EU. The UK is our special relationship partner, even though Trump just signed a trade pact with them last summer. These tariffs effectively rip up those recent agreements. European officials are already pointing out a major technical problem. The EU is a single trading bloc. You can't technically tax Germany and France without affecting the Italy, Spain, or Poland. This could trigger a downward spiral of retaliatory tariffs, where Europe start taxing American Boeing, iPhones, and soybean. Danish Foreign Minister Lars Lok Rasmussen, I hope I am pronouncing his name correctly, called the move a surprise, especially after he described as a constructive meeting in Washington just last week. It seems the administration was talking cooperation in public while planning a Greenland Revenge in private. But what do the people of Greenland think? Over the weekend, thousands of people took to the streets in the capital of Nuuk and across Denmark. They chanted, "Greenland is not for sale." Greenland's Prime Minister Jean Frederick Nielsen was blunt. He said, "If we have to choose between United States and Denmark, we choose Denmark. We choose EU." The residents there aren't just worried about who collects their taxes. They are worried about their identity. Greenland has a draft constitution in work. They want independence, not to become a 51st state or a territory managed by DC, Washington DC. However, some in Washington argues that a compact of free association or similar to what the US has with nations like Palau or Marshall Islands could be a middle ground. US would handle defense and provide massive economic subsidies while Greenland keeps its local government. But the Trump's Truth social post doesn't mention a compact. It says complete and total purchase. So where does this go from here? We have 3 weeks window before February 1st. The markets are already reacting and they are not happy. Inflation is a major concern. If these tariffs go through, the cost of imported goods for American consumers will definitely go up. There are also legal hurdles. The US Supreme Court is expected to rule any day now on whether the president has the authority to impose tariffs unilaterally for national security reasons. If the rule against him, the entire plan could go bust, will be dead on arrival. But if they don't, we are looking at the biggest rift in NATO history. President Trump is betting that Europe's economy is too fragile to withstand a 25% tariff. He thinks that eventually Denmark will realize that a $700 billion or whatever the financial price tag is better than economic depression. Is he right, or has the final purchase pushed your allies too far? Let me know in the comments below. Should the US buy Greenland? Is a 10% tariff a fair negotiating tactics, or this is a dangerous mistake? I'm your friend Chandrakant, and we'll be following this story as it develops in Davos. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into 2026 global economy. We'll see you in the next one.